Hi, welcome back to Musicians Edition Practice with me for Flute. I'm your teacher, Reesa, and today we're working in the Rubank Intermediate Method. And today we are on page 6. We're going to be looking at Expression Etudes, okay? So this is really going to help us improve our skill with dynamics. Okay, so let's take a look at exercise number 1. First, tell me about our key signature. What do we have going on? We have no sharps, no flats. What key is this? C major. Tell me about our time signature. Common time, so keeping it to 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's take a look at our dynamics too. So first, we're going to start off mezzo piano, kind of quiet, and we're going to crescendo all the way up to forte. And then we're going to decrescendo back all the way down to piano, soft. Then we're going to crescendo a little and then decrescendo. Then we're going to crescendo and decrescendo. Okay, and then we're going to be at mezzo forte, just starting right on. Boom, mezzo forte. And then we're going to decrescendo to mezzo piano and then decrescendo to piano. Okay, and then we're going to crescendo back up to mezzo forte. And then we're going to crescendo up even more to forte. And then we're going to take that forte and we're going to decrescendo down to forte and then decrescendo more to mezzo forte and then crescendo up to forte, crescendo up to fortissimo. So we're going to get really loud there. And then we're going to bring it back down to mezzo forte and then bring it back up to fortissimo. So we have a lot of dynamic movement going on, but it's nothing like super drastic. Everything moves with crescendo and decrescendos. So we'll just need to pay attention to that. Tell me about our tempo. Andante. So this piece is not going particularly fast. So we want to really express with those dynamics and with vibrato even. All right, so this go around, let's just play it out so we get the fingerings and the notes so we can figure out our fingerings and the notes. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. All right. So nothing difficult rhythmically and nothing really complicated with our notes and fingerings either. Everything seems to work up and down. All right. So now let's go ahead and add in our articulations if you haven't. There are some slurred areas. And now we're going to add in our dynamics. And add vibrato while you're at it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. How was that? Feeling it a little bit more? Excellent job. Okay, this time we're going to just put it to the metronome just to make sure that we are playing along with the right tempo, but we're also going to make sure we remain expressive with those dynamics and vibratos. All right, so this is Andante. So you know what? Let's go ahead and do this at, let's do this at 75. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So this is one you're going to want to continuously work at because there's always going to be room for improvement. We can always make those mezzo pianos a little bit softer. We can make those fortes a little bit louder without going into fortissimo. We can always put a little bit more vibrato in there and just make it a little bit more expressive. So make sure you continue these etudes as they are specifically for building skills. All right, let's go ahead and move on to exercise 2 though, since we are limited on time. All right, so taking a look at our key signature, same thing. We are in the key of C major, no sharps, no flats. We're still in common time, 4/4. Once again, we have a lot of dynamic movement. So why don't we take a moment to look at those? We're going to start mezzo piano, just like we did. And then we have a shorter time frame to crescendo up to mezzo forte and decrescendo back down to mezzo piano. Then we're going to crescendo up to forte and then back down to mezzo piano. We're going to crescendo all the way up to forte, start right back on forte, but then we're going to decrescendo to mezzo forte, decrescendo to mezzo piano, decrescendo to piano. Then we're going to start right on the dot at mezzo piano and crescendo all the way up to forte and decrescendo just down to mezzo forte. It looks huge just because it's stretched out in that measure, but we're only going down to mezzo forte. And then we're going down to mezzo piano. And then we're crescendoing back up to forte, back down to mezzo forte, and then all the way up to fortissimo. And then we're going to crescendo back down, all the way down to mezzo piano, crescendo back up to forte, and then crescendo up to fortissimo. And then we're going to decrescendo back down to mezzo forte, back up to forte, and then all the way down to mezzo piano in that short amount of time there. So once again, a lot of movement going on here. All right, now looking ahead, we do have some accidentals to take note of. So if you look at measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have G sharp, okay? And then we have G sharp a little later on, and G sharp a little later. So we only have G sharp here and there, but we need to be cognizant of it. Take note early so we don't miss it. And tell me about our tempo. Moderato, so this is going to be a moderate pace, little faster than what we just did. All right, for round 1, let's just get our fingerings under our belt and then we'll add in the expressions. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So this one's a little bit more complicated, even just with fingerings and rhythms. We have several runs with eighth notes. All right. This time, we're going to add in those dynamics, add in your articulations, and add in your vibratos. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. A little harder when we add in those expressions, huh? All right, so since this one's a little faster, but there's a lot more motion going on, let's work our way up to the tempo. So let's start this off at 80, and we're going to continue doing all of our expressions, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. Okay, now we're going to start speeding this up. So now let's go ahead and skip to 90. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. Still kind of difficult. So if there's any points that this is just going too fast, remember you're in control, so you can always slow things down. Take sections by section. So if you're struggling with where that G sharp is, just slow it down. Slow it down, work your way there, speed it up, whatever you need to do. All right, let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit more though. Let's do 100. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. I accidentally hit that thumb key right as I was cutting off, but all right. Hopefully we're still keeping up with all the expressions as we speed up. We don't want to lose any of those. Let's do this one more time. We're going to do this at 110. That puts us about where we should be. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So this is also one you're going to want to continuously work at, okay? All right, let's go ahead and move on to exercise number 3 now. So take a look at our key signature. It has changed. What do we have going on? We have 1 flat, B flat. Is this major or minor, and which one is it? This is F major. Great. Our time signature is still 4/4, okay? This piece, we're going to go a little slower. It's andante, okay? Which helps, though, because we have all these 8th notes, and it can be hard to do those 8th notes with the dynamics and expressions. So just looking real quick at the dynamics, we're going to start mezzo forte. So we're going to start louder than we had been. We're going to crescendo to forte, decrescendo back down to mezzo forte, crescendo back up to forte, decrescendo back down to mezzo forte, and crescendo back up. So there's movement here, but it's not as much movement. It's just going from mezzo forte to forte. You know, it's real close. Okay, continuing on. So we're going to start mezzo forte. We're going to crescendo to forte. And then just within that little run, we're going to decrescendo a little bit. Then we're going to start right at forte. Okay, so that is not telling us to decrescendo to forte. It's just saying to decrescendo a little and then we start right at forte. Okay, it's a little confusing to look at first, I know. Okay, so we're starting at forte, decrescendoing a little bit, and then the same thing, we're starting right on forte, decrescendoing all the way to mezzo piano in that short little run there. And then we're going to crescendo back up to forte, decrescendo back down. And then starting right back at forte, decrescendoing to coming back up. Now, I know that some of these don't tell us where to go, so like where those fortes come down. So that really is going to be, if you're playing with a group, I kind of just go for the feel of it, but if it's something like this, I might just take it down to mezzo forte, to be honest. Just take it down a little bit, okay? And then that last line, we're starting right at forte, decrescendoing back down, starting right back at forte, decrescendoing all the way down to mezzo piano, then crescendoing back up to mezzo forte, and then crescendoing up to forte, and that's where we end it. All right, so let's just get our fingers and notes in action, so let's just worry about that, and then we'll add all the other stuff in next. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So this one might be just a little trickier with breathing and certain rhythms because it's, to me at least, it's a little tricky. If you look on the second line where it starts on that C, D, E, F, C, breath mark A, it can be difficult to get that breath in time and still get, you know, the quarter note afterwards. So those can be a little tricky. You also might have noticed that some areas might already be following what the dynamics want to be. So I kind of noticed myself doing that. But this time we're going to add in the dynamics purposefully and controlled. And we're going to add in articulation if you haven't done so already, and add in your vibratos. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. All right, so hopefully you're holding in there. Once again, if you're struggling, take things section, slow it down, work on, really break it down note by note, adding in the slurs, adding in the vibrato, now adding in the dynamics, take it slow, break it down. All right, now let's try to get this precise and up to, or I should say slowed down to tempo since we came from a faster one. Let's go ahead and do this one at a nice 80, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. So using the metronome, it really helped me on those areas where those breath marks are followed by the quarter note. So you want to make sure that you still practice this with the metronome just to work out some of those little kinks. All right, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know in the comments. While you're down there, don't forget to hit like, notify, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our practices. Thanks for joining, and until next time.